Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to beat Dongbaek in Limbus Company with only your units. No need to borrow, no need to do any fancy tricks, no need to do any grinding. You can just do this with your own default sinners. And without any further ado, let me hit play on this replay and we'll get into it. Now I'm not going to spend a lot of time breaking down the mechanics of this fight. I'm just going to kind of get right into it and walk you through the fight. And in 11 minutes from now, we will have beaten her. The thing to note about Dongbaek is she inflicts blooming. In this entire fight, all it's about is managing blooming. That's all you want to do. So you're going to want to reset turn 1 a couple times until you've defeated both of her yellow skills that deal area of effect damage. They have attack weight. Once you've gotten through turn 1, it might take a couple of resets. You're kind of in the clear and you just need to manage blooming the rest of the fight. So I lose the clash against the green skill, which is suboptimal, but all I really care about is making sure her 2 yellow skills don't go off. So that's what I try to do. You also see I'm using that guard skill from Isang. You can do that with anyone, but what I'm doing is I just wanted it to offset for evade. Now there we go. I lose the clash against the yellow skill, so I reset. And I included this reset, and I didn't cut it out of the replay, because I wanted to show that this is normal and expected, right? It's nothing to be frustrated about, nothing to be mad about. That's just kind of how turn 1 of this fight goes when you're not using, you know, super meta units. Now while I'm setting up turn 1 again, one thing to note is all of my units are level 35, and a couple of them are Uptie 4. Uptie 4 is very cheap for the default sinners. You won't regret it in case you ever want to use them in the future because it's fun. But the level is mandatory. Uptie, not so much, but you really need to have a full team of level 35 units. Okay, now back to the fight. You'll see that I lose the clash against the green skill. That sucks, but you know, it happens. All that matters is we defeat both the yellow skills. And alright, we made it to turn 2, so things are looking good. So we just start setting up clashes again, and trying to manage our blooming. There you go, you see I do an offset. When she does a successful evade, she inflicts blooming, which we definitely don't want. So that's why I offset her evade every single turn. Now I lose against the yellow skill. I considered resetting the run here, but I decided not to because I didn't want to go for... I was feeling pretty fortunate I got that on my second try through the first turn. So I just decided to keep on going, and it ends up being totally fine, as you'll see in a second. Now Hong Lu, because I lost the clash against the AoE skill, is at 5 blooming. Again, this is pretty suboptimal, but we just keep playing good, managing our sinners, and I'll be fine. Okay, phase 2. Weirdly enough, this is where things get a lot more relaxing, because now you're kind of out of that RNG fest. Now the branches, the thing to note about these little flowers is they're weak to slash damage, and they're weak to pride damage, and they're weak to one other sin affinity I don't remember. So you can see I'm using Ryoshu to go free Hong Lu, because since I know that the flowers take double damage from slash, I'm confident Ryoshu, even on low sanity, can free him. Here we go, just setting up some clashes. I hope I'm not going too fast. There's so many videos out there that are just super long. The YouTuber talks and talks, and they break down every single skill Dongbaek's can use, and they tell you about all the status effects and, you know, what teams using this. But I'm just trying to keep it simple. Just trying to show you, get through turn 1, manage your blooming, use slash damage if you can, and pride damage if you can to free the sinners if they get trapped. Just keep on moving. When I get to her final phase, phase 3, I'll kind of break it down in a bit more detail, but until then, we're good. The only thing you need to note about this phase and phase 2 is some of her skills inflict blooming on use instead of on hit. Yeah, that one, it just flashed for a second. Let me rewind the replay back. There it is, on use in the top right. On use means that even if you win the clash, you're still going to get bloomed. So you need to make sure that the person who clashes the on use doesn't already have 2 blooming, because they're going to get 3 blooming from that, and you don't want to go to 5. So there you can go. You can see my Otis had 0 blooming, now she's at 3. That's just the only little tricky bit to know that there was low off. But yeah, we just keep on going. Don't worry about doing damage to Dongbaek. She'll die eventually. Just play her phase mechanics, and she'll be dead. Flowers are a nice opportunity to get sanity. Sinclair is just fine. Hunglu. Hunglu had a horrible game, but it happened. Okay, she's charging up her nuke, but we need to kill all the little flowers. They die if you win the clash. So you can see I actually changed my mind there, and I decide not to greed, and I just line up 4 dominating clashes because I don't want to get looped. I really don't want to. So I'm losing out on some damage output, but I don't care because I'm playing it safe. Get a bit of sinking on her. She has 10 protection, so she takes 100% less damage, so there's no point trying to damage her in this phase. There we go, she's using the nuke. Now, I have, egos, as you can see on my sinners. I will not use any of these egos. I'm going to do this purely with the default egos. I'm going to use Crow's Eye View. I'm going to use Force for the Flames, but it doesn't really matter what I used. Now, I'm checking to Pathos Mathos, and I saw there that I needed more yellow. It went by kind of fast, but trust me, I needed more yellow resources. So I make sure to farm up 2 more yellow resources within this turn while I'm clashing with my egos up front. But back here with Otis and Hunglu, just generating 2 more yellow. So that way, in phase 3, I'm ready to use ego on Otis. So that way, I always have a backup ready. Just getting through this. Easy peasy. There we go. Under to me, Chibiki, I guess. Okay. Halfway done. I used the yellow skill again because I'm trying to farm yellow resources so I can use to Pathos Mathos more from this. Just trying to decide what resources I want. And 3 yellow is great. That's exactly what I want. One thing to quickly note is you see that I'm only using 5 sinners. I gave extra turns to Ryoshu and Sinclair by turn 1 and turn 2 since they generate extra turns when you're short on deployment. And that's just a really efficient way to do this. You could do it with all 7, but I think it's easier with just 5 or even 6. Alright. There we are. Just another nuke. No big deal. I'm ready to use ego. Yeah, I'm kind of going back and forth on which to use, but I decided to keep it simple and decide I'm overthinking it. Now, I'm trying to build sanity on Otis because I want Otis to be ready to use to Pathos Mathos because I know I'm going to run out of resources after this turn to use Force for the Flames. So that's why I'm building up some sanity on Otis to get her ready for phase 3. But yeah, we're just chipping her down. It actually ends up being a pretty fast clear. Again, this only takes 11 minutes. And there we go. This comes in. Perfect. Now the dueling phase is going to happen. If Yisong does the duel gets harder. But in exchange, you get better rewards for winning it. By rewards, I just mean like in battle buffs. You don't actually get like loots or anything. However, because this is a guide, and I'm just going to show you the easiest way, which is I do it with Otis, and I have Otis take the duel, since I know I can use to Pathos Mathos twice on her. Whereas Yisong, I don't have enough resources to use his free-to-play ego, Crow's Eye View. I could have done it with all those other egos I had, but again, just keep it simple on this guide. So there we go. Now Otis clashed against the skill that inflicts duel, and so Otis is now dueling. Everyone staggers, but I don't care, because that's how this is supposed to go. I should have used ego here. I actually greeted. It kind of scared the crap out of me when I started losing the clash. There was no reason for me to greet that, but I did anyways. You can see that I learned my lesson. Just easy go after that. And there we go. We did the duel, which is only 2 turns long. And now we're done with phase 3, and we just get to finish the fight. Dongbaek staggers after doing the duel twice, so I just press the damage button. So we're on the home stretch. Perfect. Okay. We'll get to the last turn after this. So player comes in for some big damage. And this is the last turn of the fight. I tried just pressing win rate, but win rate just does not work against Dongbaek. You really need to manually line up your clashes every time. She is using her nuke, which is unfortunate. So I just line up another eco from Otis to make sure I can clash it. Line everything up. Cancel out the evade. Dump every other skill. And there we go. So there it is. Now, I'm gonna close out of the fight so you guys don't get any spoilers. And I want my energy back. I don't want to get the 10 XP you guys are for doing it multiple times. So I just quickly tap out again, just to show no spoilers. And yeah, that's how you beat Dongbaek with just your default sinners. It's really not too bad. Again, there are guides out there that, you know, give you a super detailed breakdown of like what all her skills do, and all that stuff, but just keeping it simple. And then for some other good identities you can use, Ryoshu has some real classics. I mean, Maid Ryoshu is amazing, W Corp Ryoshu is amazing, because all those are slash damage and they have pride skills. For Yisong, I mean, he has so many good IDs, right? You can use Solemn Lament, you can use Spice Brush, you can use Blade Lineage if you want to, I guess. It doesn't really matter that much. But yeah, just lots of options. Don't use Zwei Sinclair, that's my little... He would be horrible. Anyway, I hope this video helped you, and have a good rest of your day, manager. I'll see you around.